So to that end, there's so many important dates that we need to think about still. So
Right.
we're in the early voting period right now. And
Yes.
yes, that's so important that we remember we have the opportunity right now to go to the polls comfortably,
Yes.
and cast your votes now until what, December
Until
31st.
until December 31st. Yes. And we
And
want our voters to understand too and pay attention now to the dates that are open, because we do have the Christmas holidays. We have New Year's coming up. So there are some dates around those holidays where the early voting locations will be closed. But however, right now, between now and the 20 and next week on the 23rd, there's opportunity. Some of our counties have Saturday voting tomorrow. Where I am in Chatham County, we do have it. That's an option. There's not Saturday voting offered in all of the counties this time. But if you're in Chatham County, please tomorrow you can go and vote at our the voter location on Eisenhower. But I'm sure that there are persons in other counties in the state of Georgia, and there are some counties that may have Saturday voting. But the point is to get out and vote. And if you've already received that absentee ballot, please fill it out. And at this point in time, we are urging you to hand deliver it or place it in a secure box, because
absolutely.
the holiday mail during the holidays, irrespective of COVID and everything else that has gone on this year, during the holiday, the mail, there's so much of it,
It's so slow,
and it's slow.
and once it's so important to continue to plan
Yes.
how you're going to make that vote count. So knowing exactly where you have to go, and it is so easy, Miss James, just to take that ballot and drop it in the box,
Yes.
then go, as we say in Louisiana, go make your groceries.
Yes.
Get your
Christmas and
your little Christmas gifts, and do that, but just incorporate it. It is very important to just put it in a ballot box if you decided to go with an absentee ballot. That is so
correct.
important, and to lay the plan if one is going to wait. But I was so proud of Georgians that
Yes.
by the time the presidential November 3rd got there, so many people had voted. It was just
Yes.
crazy. And it's
Yes.
so important to just get it in there early so we don't have any confusion at all. You know what else I am so excited about, Ms. James, is that so many young people.
Oh, yes. And let me tell you an experience with some young people who've been working on my team, and as young as 6 years old, and
Oh,
all the way up to about 18 or 19, when we were doing lit drops. And this was the first lit drop that we did. And this was really back for the November election.
uh-huh.
Just to see those young people, I mean, they were in a little team of about 14 or 15 of them total. And they were so excited and, putting literature on persons' homes. And then afterwards, just understanding. And they're beginning to understand the importance of elections, the importance of voting, and how it all, just ties into everything. So that was one of the most exciting moments that I've had so far during
Oh,
this election cycle.
that you never forget. And you know that at the end, you're like imbuing those young people with the importance of their voice in the
Yes.
vote, and their kind of civic, not like responsibility, but their civic participation, that they're a part of a whole that is, and each little piece of that puzzle has importance, and is
Yes.
appreciated. And I think I'm very excited because the amount of enthusiasm that I've seen in young voters, and not so much pessimism, or it doesn't matter what I do. I'm seeing an excitement about it, when I'm
They
going
are
out to
excited.
some of the rallies, with cars and all that, they are honking and just into it. The sororities and fraternities are out there stepping, and you're just feeling the excitement with, they feel empowered with their vote. So I also, one of the things, what the work that you're doing and that you've continued to do is we have to just bow down and say thank you for putting all that love into our communities and all of that. But we got to contribute to organizations like yours, Black Voters Matter, and all the other, a coalition of women. We have to contribute to you. So that is something that can happen all over this country. For people who don't live in Georgia, you can go to, I think it's thankyougeorgia.com.
Okay.
And
Yes.
Thankyougeorgia.com, and you can invest in organizations like the ones that Shirley, but I still want to say that Shirley James has helped to build so that they can continue this incredible work. So everybody all over this country, you're not here, you can't vote here, but you can contribute to these organizations and help them continue this amazing work. So
may I say something too about persons who don't live in Georgia?
Yes.
Because another thing that we concentrate on is what we call relationships.
Uh-huh.
And so if you don't live in Georgia, you may know someone who lives here. You maybe went to school with someone, a colleague from some time ago, definitely family and friends. Just give them a call and remind them about voting. Remind them that early voting is going on right now, and can you pledge to call at least 5 people to make sure that they will early vote or definitely go ahead and send that absentee ballot in. So there's a lot that we can do. Some of us sometimes don't have the financial means, but a simple phone call to a neighbor, anyone, you just don't know the impact of that.
I tell you, you can never underestimate elbow grease.
Right.
Putting in the work, just putting in the work, contributing that way. We don't all have to have money, but if you care about the country, we all need to pitch in and encourage people to stay involved, to vote, to help out in any way they can. So are there any other experiences that you've had in these decades that you've been involved, and coming up to this moment of where we are right now, powerful reminiscences at all of other things that could encourage people and inspire people, how much this all matters?
Well, I think if most of us would go back to our childhoods, we're going to remember, my grandmother would always take me with her when she was keeping me to the polls, when she voted. My parents, they worked as precinct workers and things of that nature. So I said I was born into a legacy, but then I also married into one because my mother-in-law, believe it or not, in the 60s, was part of a lawsuit in the county where she lived in Mississippi, just to gain the right to register to vote. So it's a legacy for me. And then once I got here into Savannah, and then there were colleagues and friends of mine, and these were women now who were, I would say they were breaking that glass ceiling and running for office at the state legislative level, and then again for county commission, for school board representative, county city councilman, mayor, and all of that. And I got involved that way. With helping with campaigns in the beginning here. And then the more we looked at it and being a part of organizations like Delta Sigma Theta sorority, the Links, Jack and Jill, and just knowing other nonpartisan organizations around me, we organized. When we did Women Must Vote, we actually organized coalitions of women from these particular organizations and just targeted our 18 to 35-year-old young women and just trying to help them to understand and connect those dots. That's what it was all about. And then it just morphed from there.
It's so exciting, because I feel that it's not that it's underestimated, but I'm an Arrow Link here.
All right.
I'm an Arrow Link, yes. My mother started the chapter in Baton Rouge, the Links, and Julia Purnell was one of my mentors, and all of that, so that the Links, the Deltas, the AKAs, these women's organizations that are considered to be social organizations have been the backbone of so much organizing in our communities. So I just think we need to shout out, because it continues. All of the in colleges.
Yes, and the Divine Nine, so I mean, we're all
Nine
together. Yes,
I am telling you, there is so much power in it, and I think sometimes it's not that it's overlooked or anything, but I think we just need to shout out the kind of work. It's not all bombs and tea parties and things like that. There is serious work being done by
Yes.
these organizations. So then I have just so much enjoyed talking to you, and I don't want to miss anything. So are there other important other important informations that we need to share with people, you know, to know what to do?
Well, I would say, again, just making sure that you're aware of the dates, the times, and the locations of the early voting places in your particular counties in the state of Georgia. I would still like to ask persons, whether you live in Georgia or outside of Georgia, to let those relationships work, and just in a friendly reminder. And don't feel that if you had reminded the person more than once, that's okay, because I need to be reminded of things more than once sometimes. Make sure that you have
this
your
is not
plan.
a time to be polite. Yeah. You know, you might feel like you're harassing people,
and make sure that you have,
you're encouraging them, and you're empowering
just
them to go and
it's a reminder.
Yes,
it's that little nudge
to exercise their right.
And then you can say, well, I voted, or I plan to do this. So I'm just encouraging. Yeah. And the dates again, and if you can't, we encourage the early voting, because that's, and even on the same dating, absentee ballot voting, all of that now is safe. It's set up in such a way that there is safety. COVID kinds of regulations are in place. So whether you do the absentee ballot or the early voting, whatever, just so good. Please go back and.
Yes, when I went to vote, I was really impressed. I was very.
You didn't have a problem, right?
I did not have a problem. They were cleaning things in between. The systems were all set up and organized. The line wasn't very long. So it's time. Miss Shirley James, you know what? After January the 5th, and everyone has exercised their rights, I have never really spent time in Savannah. And it's one of the places on my list. So if I come, I'm just asking that maybe we can have a socially distanced visit.
Yes, and I can promise you, from the mayor to everyone, you're going to have the best time you've ever had in Savannah. So please come. We are the hostess city of the South, and we will take good care of you.
I can't wait. And to come in, like, since 1876, this newspaper has existed. That we have to talk about later. I'm sure there are tons of stories that would make great movies or television. Yes. Well, thank you so much. I will definitely call you when I'm coming to Savannah, so we can spend a little time and celebrate that everybody exercised their right to vote. And please have a wonderful holiday. Thank you so much for your time today.
You too.
I really appreciated having this
conversation.
Thank you.
This has been a pleasure and an honor for me.